over. I feel like we should have a little Christmas spirit. So let's have, I think he might be doing too much. We could put him down here. Anyways, hi everybody. Happy, oh God, why do I always forget the day? Wednesday? I don't know. It's day 28 of live streaming. If you're new or you're watching the recording, hey everybody, I have been live streaming every day for 28 days in a row. We are almost at the end. I cannot believe it. I've been live streaming every day in December. If you missed yesterday's stream or any of the streams, I will link them down below. The link to yesterday's stream is down below. It was a Boohoo haul, which is an affordable clothing website. And then I showed a couple things that I got for Christmas. And Samantha says, where is Coco? Coco is eating his dinner. My aunt says you are not synced. Is there any way to fix that? I'm asking the technical department before we get started. Let's see. We'll work on that. He's going to fix that. So we're not synced, but we will be synced. That happened in yesterday's video, but then like after a minute or two, it worked out. So we'll see. He's fixing that now. Are there any other updates before we jump in? I don't think so. So today what I want to do is, I'm just going to keep talking and we'll get the syncing stuff going. Today what I wanted to do is, you can tell I have on no makeup. So I thought that we would do a makeup tutorial, but a work/school appropriate makeup tutorial, because a lot of the makeup tutorials that I've done in the past are usually very dramatic, very full face, concealer, contour, primers, everything you can think of, baking. So I thought, why not just show you what I do on a daily basis, because I do work full time. So I thought I would show you, and I thought this would be helpful because a lot of people have asked me on my Instagram, can you do something like a little more natural, more neutral that I can wear to school or work? So that's what we're going to do today. I've got the hair pulled back. If you notice, like these Band-Aids, I have these on because I gave myself like freaking paper cuts. So I have like this huge paper cut down my hand, which really freaking hurts. And then I have a really big one on my thumb too. So if you see those, that's what's going on with that. I'm trying to protect myself because it really hurts. So I'm just going to jump into it, folks. We're just going to get started. I'm just going to do my makeup how I do my makeup every day, as if I'm going to work, or if you're younger and you're going to school, or older, whatever. All ages go to school. Then this is something that maybe you could do. So I have nothing on. The only thing I put on is a little moisturizer. So my skin feels very soft and moisturized. So the first step that I always do, oh, and I should give this disclaimer. Some of you may think this is a lot of makeup. To me, this is like pretty bare minimum for me, like natural. This is natural makeup for me, but you do what works for you, because I know some people are gonna watch this and watch the recording and be like, that is a lot of makeup. That's what you call natural. This is natural for me. And remember, I'm someone that wears makeup every day, and I like to wear like heavy full coverage makeup. So this is natural for me. Tone it down and do what works for you. I have very oily acne prone. Use is a primer. I always use a primer. If I'm going to work, if I'm going swimming, if I'm going out, I'm going to use a primer because I have very oily acne prone skin. So this is the primer that I use. This is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. That's a long name. This stuff is great if you have oily skin. So when you put it on the skin, it is a silicone. I believe it has silicone in it. You can tell it does. It's a silicone-based primer that's essentially going to keep you matte. And when you rub it out, it goes. My makeup lasts so much longer. So I usually just put a little bit of that all over the skin, because if I'm going to work or school, I'm going to have this makeup on all day. And I find that if I use this primer, my makeup lasts so much longer. I really like this primer. I did a first impressions on Becca Cosmetics using this primer. So if you're interested in that, I'll link it down below. Also, I've linked all the products I'm using down below, so check that out. Oh, I always forget to show this step on camera. Wash my face. I use a sunscreen. That's really important. No matter where you live, you should be using a sunscreen daily. I feel like a lot of people forget about that step. So I put on a sunscreen. This is the one I'm currently using, and I find it doesn't clog my pores. It doesn't cause me breakouts. This is the Neutrogena Clear Face Breakout Free Sunscreen SPF of 55. So that's the one I'm using right now. I do that before I put on my primer. So I do sunscreen first, and then I do primer. So then while those are soaking into my skin, I move on to the brows. And let me show you what I use for my brows. It has lasted so long. I love this product. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade, and this is in the shade Ebony. So that's what the front of it looks like. This is what the back of it looks like, in case any of you have never seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard of Anastasia. She's a very popular makeup brand. You can buy it on her website, and I think you can get it in Ulta, but for sure you can get it in Sephora, because that's where I got mine. And you can see I am like almost totally out of this stuff. And this has lasted me, I want to say, a year? No. I think it's been a year and a half since I first bought this. I'm just looking for my eyebrow brush. Oh, here we go. So one of the brushes that I'm going to use, this is one of my favorites to use on the brows. This is the Real Techniques. Is this even a brow brush? Yeah, this is a brow brush. This you can get from the drugstore. I highly recommend this brush. It just makes putting on brow products so easy. So all I do is I stick my brush in here. This is a one-step process, and then I just line the brows on the top and the bottom, and I fill it in, and that's it. Because when I'm going to work, I don't have time to like be messing around with my brows and setting them and using clear brow product to set them. You put this on there, fills in your brows, and it's easy. And that's it. So then when I get the product in, I just brush it through, and that's it. Like when I'm just going to work, or if I'm going somewhere quick and I don't have all day, I just want something that's easy to use, doesn't take forever, and I really love this stuff. And what's great about this is that a little bit goes such a long way. Put it on, brush, done. That's it. So let's just go to the other one. This is a step I usually filming it live if I'm recording it, because it's the same like I've been doing forever. I haven't changed my brow routine in so long. I'm almost done with this, so I think I need to try a new product. I love this. I'm going to rebuy it, but there's so many other great brow products out there that I want to try. So that's really all I do for the brows. When I'm going to work, no muss, no fuss. Then I just take the spoolie, brush it through, boom, boom, bam. That's it. And the only other thing I'm going to do to my brows is highlight under them. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Hey, Tara. Samantha says, where's Coco? He's eating. Hey, Wawa. Tara was actually on the live stream. If you guys are ever curious, before I go live on YouTube, I also go live on Instagram. And I show you like a little pre-show of what I'm going to be doing. So I was live on Twitter and Instagram before I came here, and Tara was there. Okay, so now that I've got the brows on, the next thing that I do when I go to work is I take this concealer. I've been using this for years. I'm not kidding. You can get it from the drugstore. I've linked it down below. This is the Black Opal Concealer in Honey. And I like to use this when I go to work because you see it's in stick form. So it just makes it so easy. And look, you can tell this stick was up to here. I've been using this for a year, and this is how much I have left. So the only thing I use this for is to highlight under the brows. So I literally will just do like that, and then I will use my finger just to add some highlight, some color under the brow so you can see the difference. Let me see what you're seeing. Yeah, so you can see the difference. You see it adds like a brightness effect under the brow. I like that because in the mornings, I go to work very early, like I'm at work at 7 a.m. It just makes you look awake, and it makes your eye pop with very little work. And I don't like even use a brush. I just use my finger because most of the time I'm in a rush. So that's all I do, and I feel like it just adds a nice brightness to the eye. And you can just use your fingers. Boom, done. And it also makes your brows look a lot more neat and defined when you do that. So I highly suggest that. Even if you're in a rush, just take a concealer that's in stick form that's a couple shades lighter, and then that's it. Samantha says, I use its cosmetics, but also this too. So then just rubbing it in, and I just use my fingers to make sure it's blended in pretty well. And then that's it for the brows. When I'm going to work, that's all I do. I don't have time, and I'm sure many of you don't have time to be sitting there and like defining them and all that stuff. Hey Furry, welcome. We're just doing a work/school makeup tutorial. So whenever I'm going to work, I usually don't like messing around with like multiple palettes. So right now my palette of choice is the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia. I've linked it down below. I think this is $42, but I think it's definitely worth the price. The shadows are very pigmented. They're very easy to blend, as you're going to see, and I feel like this is a great palette for everyday wear. Hey Liddy, let me turn off the elf because I feel like there's too much on the screen. So this palette is just, I feel like it's perfect for everyday wear. It has some neutrals, some of them are shimmers, some of them are mattes. I really like the color, let me move it a little closer for you. There we go. I love the color Love Letter. That's one of my favorites, and Venetian Red. So this has been my go-to like work palette. So let's see, I want to take a blending brush for the crease. I have my brushes here, by the way. This is how I store my brushes. My little brush collection is actually getting out of control. I have a little bit too many brushes. I'm just going to take this brush. I'm going to take this crease brush, and I'm just going to blend this brown shadow all over the crease. What is this shade called? Cypress Umber. So this brown shade right here. Just going to take that and blend it into the crease. And I'm not going to be too careful either because this is how I do my makeup. These shadows are really pigmented, so just be careful. If you don't want them to be too pigmented, I would suggest like tapping your brush or wiping off the excess because there's a lot of color in there. And I'm just going to put that all into the crease. So it's essentially going to tie in that brow shade with the colors we're about to put on our lid. And like I told you, when it's early in the morning and I'm going to work, I am not too careful. I just make sure that everything is blended in, but I'm not like super cautious as if I was doing like a cut crease tutorial or something. Let me put my mirror over here because I can't really see that well. Liddy's here. Hey Liddy. How are you guys doing? How is your Wednesday? Why don't you guys tell me what are some of the products you use for like natural makeup days? Because I know my go-to favorites, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys like to use. So I'm just taking this color, blending it into the crease. I do not take very long. Like I'm actually taking longer than I actually usually do. I usually don't even take this long. And what I love about these shades is that they're just so blendable. It's very easy to use. I forgot to tell you, usually before I start my makeup, I start with moisturizing my lips. And one of my favorite products to do that is the Buxom lip gloss. And this is in white. Is this White Russian? Yeah, I love this stuff. Now this stuff, it has a minty smell. And what it does, I don't know, when you put it on your lips, it tingles. I think it's supposed to give you like a plumping effect. I got it from Sephora. This is like my 5th one. I love this stuff, but I put it on right when I start my makeup because it's really moisturizing. Moisturize the lips, and it gives like a nice tingling effect, and I feel like it plumps your lips a little bit. For me, you can tell it doesn't add much color, like none at all, really. I just use it for the moisturizing, tingling effect, and then by the time I'm ready to put my lipstick on, I feel like my lipstick just goes on really smoothly. So that's usually one of the first things I do. All right, so the go-to makeup look that I've been doing lately is what I'll do is I'll take this color Love Letter and I'll put that on the outer V. And then I'll take this color Primavera, this one right here, this gold shade, and I put that all on the inner corner of the eye. And that's really it. So let's see. I just want a flat eyeshadow brush. I'm just going to take a brush like so, that I can pack the shadow on. So I'm going to go in first with that color Love Letter. And like I said, I just pack it on the outer part of my eye, just to add some color to the eye. I always like to have some color because I told you guys, I am not a neutrals girl. I like some color on the eye. So I pack that all the way onto the lid, basically like halfway in. So usually like right about there. And I just pack it on. I'm looking at my phone. Samantha says, great, had fun shopping. Samantha, where'd you go shopping? Were you shopping for makeup? For homeware stuff? What were you shopping for? Okay, so where's that blending brush? I usually take the brush that I use to blend the brown shadow with, and then I just blend that red color into the brown so that it all looks nice and blended. So I just keep going back and forth blending, and then I want to pack on some more of that kind of reddish shadow all on the outer corner of the eye. But I really bring it in further than the outer corner. I kind of bring it in to halfway on the lid. And then I'll just go back and blend it a little more into the crease. And now I'm going to take another eyeshadow brush, just a flat brush. Is this one clean? Yeah, I think this is an e.l.f. brush. Yeah, it's just a flat eyeshadow brush. Samantha says, TJ Maxx, Old Navy. Oh, you know, I love TJ Maxx. I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff I got there. So now I'm going to take this shadow Primavera, and I'm just going to put this all on the inner corner of the eye. I love TJ Maxx. I feel like you can get a lot of name brand stuff there for really affordable. Like I was telling you guys the other day, I got some Michael Kors earmuffs from TJ Maxx for like 15 or 20 bucks. I think they were 20 bucks, which is really good because I think full price they're 50. So if you ever need like name brand stuff, but you don't want to pay name brand price, I highly recommend TJ Maxx. All right, so I just put that color on the inner corner to open up and brighten the eyes. I know some people are going to be like, girl, this is not natural, but for me it is. This is actually the look I've been wearing to work every day. So now I'm going to take that blending brush for the shadow that we blended in the crease and blend out again. Oh God, I knew this was gonna be hard to film live because when I'm doing my eyeshadow, I tend not to talk. And that can be bad when you're doing live streaming. Hold on. My real estate agent is texting me. Okay. So yeah, this is hard. This is hard for me to film live because usually when I film these like pre-recorded, I just edit it out. So I have to remember to keep talking. So what I'm doing is I'm just blending that gold shade into the purple shade. And then I'm going to take that brush that I used to blend the brown and blend that so that everything looks blended and it doesn't look like there's any harsh lines. Like I just want them to all look like they blend into each other, essentially. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going back and forth and blending. Hey Latoya, welcome. We're just doing a work/school appropriate makeup tutorial. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just blending. I'm going back and forth. I'm taking a little bit more of this red shade from, what's this one called? Love Letter. I'm just taking a little bit more of that shade and packing it on and making sure that it's really blended into that gold shade. Then I'll go back and blend more. I'm not putting any more brown onto the eyeshadow. I'm just blending it. I'm going to take a little bit more of the gold, pack it on. Latoya says, I finally get to catch this stream. Great. Just packing that on, and then now I think we can move on to liner. Everything looks pretty blended into each other. Let me show you guys. So we've got the burnt orange on the outer corner, the gold, the brows are done. And I'm actually taking longer than what I usually do. When I do this, like when I did this look, I wore this morning, I don't take this long. I'm taking longer because I'm explaining it to you. And so now I'm going to use one of my favorite gel eyeliners, and this is from e.l.f. I think this was $3, guys. This was $3 or $5. This is the e.l.f. Creamy Gel Liner, and you can see how well loved this is. It doesn't even have the name on it. I'm going to take a liner brush, and I'm just going to line the eyes. Now, when I'm going to work, I tend to not do a cat eye. I just do a line across the lid, and that's it. So I can't talk while I do this, so, or else I'll mess up. And that's it. That's all I do. Latoya says, did you use all the colors from the Modern Renaissance only? Yep. I used, let's see, I used this brown shade in the crease. Let me get closer. It's called Cypress Ember. Oh, there you go. I used that brown shade right there. And then I used the shade next to it called Love Letter. I used that on the outer corner of the eye. And then on the inner corner, the gold part, I used this shade. And it's called Primavera. It's just a really sparkly, glittery gold color. So that's all I have on the eyes, and now I'm doing liner. And I'm using one of my favorite drugstore liners. This is the e.l.f. Creamy Liner. Alright, so that's really it for the eyes. The only other thing I do to my eyes is mascara. The mascara that I've been trying to use up is this Physicians Formula mascara. I did a full review video on this. This mascara was very expensive. I want to say it was $17 or $18. It's the most expensive drugstore mascara I've ever purchased. I did a video review on it. If you want to check that out, I'll link it down below. So when I'm going to work, I do not put fake lashes on. If I'm not going to work, I always wear fake lashes. If I'm doing my makeup and I'm not going to work, I put fake lashes on. I don't like my lashes. I feel like they're too small, they're stubby, and I have big eyes. So I really like to have big lashes. But for work, I'm not putting lashes on. Because I told you guys, I work in a corporate office, and I feel like they would look at me like, are you crazy? Why do you have fake lashes on? So I don't do that. But any other time I do my makeup, I have fake lashes on. So I just do quickly try to make my lashes look as nice as possible. I start at the bottom. When I do my mascara, I have to get really close to the mirror. Do any of you do that? I don't know why. When I do mascara and liner, I get really close to the mirror. And I just try to make them look as long and as thick as I possibly can, which isn't, I can't do much because they're so short. And sometimes I'll take a spoolie brush to try to work the mascara through the lashes. But yeah, anytime I do my makeup, I'm not going to work. I love lashes. The bigger, the better. And now that I'm getting so close to the mirror, I can tell I want to blend that gold shadow a little more. So let me just pack that on the eye a little bit more. Okay, good. And then that's it for eyes. Sometimes when I'm going to work, I will line the lower lash line with a color. So I guess we could do that. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes I will do it. But we'll do that after I do my foundation. Let's see. Latoya says, I hate lashes. Tonight I used mascara. And Mom, I've had lashes on my own lashes. Yeah. Oh, you're lucky. My lashes are so short and stubby. So I wanted to show you guys something that was sent to me. Samantha says Rudolph is going at it. Yeah, he is. This was actually sent to me by Real Techniques, and I cannot tell you how excited I am. I love Real Techniques. I think, well, actually I know. They are my most favorite affordable makeup brush brand. You can buy this at the drugstore, any drugstore, Walmart. They're everywhere. They're so affordable, and their brushes, I'm not kidding, will last you 4 years. Like this brow brush that I showed you, I use this to put my brows on. This is from Real Techniques. I've had this brush for 2 years, and look at it. It's still in perfect shape. I've washed it many, many, many times over the 2 years. It's sturdy. The handle doesn't get loose. I love their brushes. I have some more of their brushes, actually. Let me show you. Here's an eyeshadow brush from them. Here's, oh, I love this brush. I use this. I think it's supposed to be used for powder, but I use it for blush. I love this brush. I've had this brush for a very long time. This is one of their bold metals brushes. Then it's really pretty. It's like, you can tell it's still kind of new. I've only had this one for like a month. So sturdy. The handle is really sturdy. I've washed it a lot, and I look at how pretty it is. That's why these are called their bold metal brushes. But I've loved their brushes for so long. So when I found out they were sending me something for free, I almost had a heart attack because I love their brushes. I always rave about them. So they sent me this set, and this is the Real Techniques Flawless Base Set. So this comes with 4 brushes, and let me tell you, you get a contour brush that you can use to contour your cheekbones. You get a detail brush, and you can use that for lipstick. And then a buffing brush, which is good for powder foundation. And then a square foundation brush, which obviously you can use for liquid foundation. And you get a little brush cup that keeps your brushes organized on your counter. So I'm excited to use that. Tara says lashes and lip gloss is a must for me. Yeah, I know. I feel so awkward when I go to work without lashes on. Let's see. Let's open this up. Ooh. Yeah, so this is the brush cup that you can put your brushes in. Can you see that? Yeah, there you go. And it says Real Techniques on the bottom, so you can just stick the brushes in there. I love it. I love Real Techniques. I think other than this set, I own all of their brushes. Except for some of the bold metals. I don't own any of those, but look how cute. And this is like big enough where you can fit other brushes in it. So today I want to use this foundation brush. I've never used this brush. And it says it's for, is this the one that's for liquid foundation? Yeah, square foundation brush. So we're going to use this one. Try it out. And the foundation that I'm using is the Sephora 10-Hour Wear Foundation. I did a full first impressions on this like 2-3 months ago. So if you want to check it out, I'll link it down below. And this is in the shade Deep Chocolate. I really like this foundation. I left it on in the video, I think, for 12 hours. It's very long wearing. It doesn't move. It stays put once you put it on. I really like it. Ooh, I like this brush. Even though the brush head is small, it's really packing on a lot of color. It's holding on to a lot of product. Like it's picking up more product than I thought it would, which is nice. So whenever I'm going to work and I know I'm gonna have a long day, I like to wear foundation that I know will last all day. So that's why I chose this foundation. And you can tell I've used quite a bit. Can you guys see? Like a lot of it's almost gone. I really like this foundation. And that's a lot because I own a lot of foundation, so that says a lot. That means I like it because I've been using it every day since I purchased it. And I want to say that foundation is like 20 or 25 bucks. So it's basically like middle price range. And you can tell it's full coverage. You only need like 1 pump to cover your whole face. I just used 1 pump. Covered my whole face. Now I know for some of you full coverage may not be what you want to wear for like work or school. So I feel like if you paired this with a booty oil, not a booty oil, a beauty oil, or if you just didn't use like as much as I did, maybe just use half a pump, that would be great. Because this stuff is amazing and it lasts all day, especially when you pair it with this primer. Any foundation you pair with this primer will last so much longer. But when you wear this foundation with this primer, I feel like this foundation will last even longer than 10 hours. It's just really good. I really like this brush. I was a little worried because the brush head is really small. I don't know if you guys can tell. Like, let me show you another. Do I have another brush? I don't have a foundation brush near me, but well, here's a stippling brush that I use for foundation. Like, the brush head is really small in this, so I was worried, but yeah, I really like this brush. And this is not sponsored. They did send it to me for free, but they said just give your honest opinion on this. So I will link this brush set down below. I think you guys should check it out. 1, it's affordable. 2, it comes with a holder. And 3, their brushes, I'm not kidding, will last you for years. So that's pretty awesome. So we've got, yeah, I have that foundation. I did a review on it. Love it. Yeah, I really like this foundation. So, okay, we've got foundation on. What do I usually do next? Once I have my foundation on, I usually contour my nose. Now, some of you are going to be like, that's a lot, like for work or school, but that I don't always contour my whole face. Like when I'm doing a full face of makeup, I'll contour my face, my forehead, everything. But when I go to work, the only thing I do is I contour my nose. And what I've been using to contour my nose when I want more of like a lighter contour, I mean light for me. Some of you are going to see this and be like, girl, that's a dramatic contour. Talking about for me, this is the Black Opal Foundation Stick in Black Walnut. This stuff, I probably should replace it at this point because you can see it's kind of falling apart. And I've had it for like a year. No, I think I've been using this for 2 years. So this is what it looks like. It's a foundation stick, and I want to say it's like 1 shade lighter. No, I mean darker. It's about 2 shades darker than my skin tone. And I like that it's in stick form because literally this is all I do, guys. I go down the bridge of my nose like this. That's it. And then I use my fingers to blend it out. I don't even use a brush for this step. I'll literally just go like this. And it just sinks into the skin and it gives a really, hey Kay, welcome. We're just doing a natural for me makeup tutorial for work or school. I like, look at that. It just, the heat from your hands just makes it sink into the skin and it'll just give you a natural contour. I think because it's a foundation, it's a stick foundation, that's why it blends so well into the skin. And then that's all I do. I don't even use a makeup brush. Sometimes if I want more of a stark contour, like I want it to be more defined, I'll take this little brush and I'll put some more and blend it out. But really, all I use is I always say this, that some of the best makeup brushes are your fingers because the warmth from your hand, if you want a really natural look, will just melt the makeup into your skin and give you a really natural look. So that's all I do for nose contour when I'm going to work. Now, if I'm going out or if I have date night, that's a totally different story. I go full glam, like baking, contouring, highlighting. You'll notice for this, I'm not even putting, usually I put highlight under the eyes. I don't do that. I'm just keeping it real. When I go to work, I do not do any highlighting at all. None. So we've got on nose contour, and the next thing I usually do is blush. And the blush that I've been using lately, I actually reviewed this in my Becca Cosmetics video. This is the Becca Cosmetics blush in Lantana. I think that's how you say it. Latoya says, today I tried the contour with a stick foundation because I always use concealer. Yeah, I love contouring with stick foundations. Now this blush is coming up way brighter than what it really is. It's actually kind of like a light muted orangey color, and on my skin tone it looks very natural. So I told you guys, no joke, I do love Real Techniques. This is a brush I've had for like 2 years that I use, and I tend to be a little heavy-handed with blush. I tend to go overboard because I'm so oily, and I find that blush is like the first thing that fades on me. So I tend to pack on a lot of blush. So you can see it just gives a nice flush look to the skin. And so I just pack that on the cheeks like so. You could totally skip this part because I've seen a lot of like work/school makeup tutorials where they don't use blush, but this is what I do every day, so I thought I would show you. So just pack that on. I'm going lighter than what I usually do. If I'm being honest, I would put a lot more on, but I think with all the lights and everything, let's do a little more. A little more. I mean, too much blush can never hurt, as long as you blend it, right? And I just put it on the apples of my cheeks because I have really big cheeks. Like when I smile, they're pretty big. So just put that on the apples of my cheeks. Boom, boom, boom. Gives a nice flushed look. And then what else do I do? Okay, so usually, I don't know. It's like 50-50. Sometimes I will put color under the eyes. Sometimes I won't. But today I did, so I'll show you. I'm just going to take that same brown shade. So what is this color called? I keep forgetting. Cypress Umber, and I'm going to put that all on the lower lash line. Let's see. I try to take a flathead brush, but sometimes I'll just use the blending brush that I used. Here we go. I'm just going to take this little flathead brush. I'm just going to put that on the lower lash line. Just to tie everything together, and it kind of gives a smoked out look. I feel like this is definitely a step you can skip if you don't feel like you need it, but sometimes I just want to tie everything together, and it kind of gives a smoked out effect. And when I'm going to work, like usually if I'm doing a full face of glam, I'll put mascara on the bottom lashes, but if I'm just going to work, I do not care. If I'm being totally honest, when I'm going to work, I do not care about the lower lashes. And then the final step is I usually put on, like, especially in the fall and the winter, I'll put on a deeper color, but not like deep purple or anything. So what I'm going to use is what is this? This is, Maybelline Espresso Exposed, number 955. I have had this for like a year or two, so I'm hoping this is still available in the stores. If so, I will link it down below. And it's just a really pretty chocolatey red color. I think it's really pretty. And it's very moisturizing. That's one thing I like about it. All right, and that's it. I feel like this is the type of color that would look great on so many skin tones, whether you're brown like me, or you're lighter than me, or you're darker than me. I feel like this would look great on all skin tones. And I really like this lipstick. It's very moisturizing. It's not, it does move a little. Oh, you know what? Let's use this lip brush. One of the brushes that came in the Real Techniques brush set says that you can use it on your lips for a precise lip application. And because I have such small lips, sometimes I like to blend, I like to overdraw my lip line because my lips are so tiny. Oh, that helps a lot. So what brush is this called? This is a detailed brush, and it says you can use it to conceal problem areas or use it with lipstick for long-lasting shape and definition. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of the lipstick and kind of overdraw my lip line a little. Now, you don't have to do this, but sometimes I do it. This is the step where I'm getting a little extra, and it's like, are you serious? Do you really do this for work? Yes, sometimes I do. Not all the time, but sometimes. At one point I was thinking, I'm just being honest with you guys, I was like, I should get my upper lip done, you know, get it filled up a little bit because it's just so tiny. You can barely see it. Like when I take Instagram photos, I go like this. You know, like kind of pouting to make it look like I have a bigger lip than I really do. So sad. But I've just learned to embrace it and love my little tiny lips. Because I don't know if I want to get them done. I don't know. Like, what do they put in the lips? Is it Botox? Like, what are they putting in your lips? I know it's temporary and it wears off, so I'll have to look into it. But I always overdraw my lips because they're so tiny. Kay says, your lips are beautiful. Oh, thanks, Kay. And then that's it, guys. That's what I do for work. I don't do any highlighting under the eyes. I don't even do a serious contour. I just blend it out with my hands. I do blush, eyes, brows, foundation, boom. That's it. And this look will last me all day. Oh, one thing I did forget that is very important. Latoya says, yes, it's tiny. I told you, my upper lip is really small. I cannot believe I forgot this stuff because this is something I never forget. I always, always, always use eyeshadow primer. This is the Lorac eyeshadow primer, and I also use the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. Those are my two favorites. I cannot believe I forgot that step. Oh my goodness, I never ever forget that. Before I put anything on the eyes, you take a little dab of this. This is what it looks like. Let me show you. It kind of looks beige when you first put it on, and then you rub it in and it dries clear, and this will make your eyeshadow last so much longer. It's not going to make it last, you know, for like 48 hours or anything, but if you put this on, your eyeshadow will last all day. Especially for someone like myself that has really oily skin. Even my eyelids get oily. I have to use that. So that's a step I never forget. I can't believe I forgot to tell you that. Latoya says no setting spray. No, I do not use setting spray when I'm going to work. Honestly, I don't use setting sprays often because I find they do absolutely nothing for my skin.